Yo, what is good? What's bad? What is reality? So, been a minute. Said why not? Let it release, right? How powerful can it be? Is it to letting it go? To letting things, people, situations, issues, problems, conflict. How easy is it to let it go? To let it be done? To let it be released? At certain times, as we all know, right? Life is life. And when you go through life, what do you find? What do you learn? What do you experience? All right, little questions that leads to little answers that will grab attention, right? And at certain times, again, when you get that attention, when you're focused, to what? To you. To you, who you are, what you're doing, what you're becoming, what you are achieving. You can take more steps to gather more rooted foundations within self, right? Because again, what is life? What is your life? What are you doing in life? Because isn't life magnificent? Living life is a wonderful thing. It's a pleasurable thing. It's a satisfying thing. And does everybody get a chance to enjoy that? Right? Living life. Living in the pleasures of life. Right? And what does that mean? Living in the pleasures of life. Depends on you. Depends on what you want. Right? Yet, to keep it basic, to keep it simple, it is just that, right? What you want out of life. What you're trying to accomplish out of life. So how do we get that? Right? How do we get to that point of place, to situation, to circumstance, living life, living your life, right? Going back to the title, letting it release. Let it release. Explain, explain, explain details, right? What am I talking about? What am I saying? What do I mean? Are we all where we should be? Are we all doing what we could be doing? Right? Let that pause, let that marinate for resignation, right? Are we all figuring it out? Right? Because isn't life big? And isn't a life, again, what you make it to be? So it comes to a point of situation and circumstance where me, right, I have to ask a couple of questions, right, just out of curiosity, because it helps the equation, right? If you don't know, you gotta ask. You gotta search to find. You gotta figure it out. And you gotta trial and error. So, I ask again, what is being done? And what isn't being done? Perfect, right? I'm saying, when it comes to focus, when it comes to self, when it comes to an individual's life, do we need help? Do we need support? Do we need truth? Or can we simply go? Can we simply conversate? Not communicate. Totally different things, right? Because anybody can have a conversation. But does that mean that you're communicating? Right? Does that mean when words are exchanged through dialogue, the comprehension is there to bring out equal communication of comprehension that in fact I know, I've seen, been there, or no, I haven't. Sounds interesting. Sounds a little crazy. Sounds a little like I could even be curious about. Right? Communication. Comprehension. Certain things, basic things in life, again, a focus. What happened to the focus? What happened to the focus of communication? Right? Example. Earlier today, watching a few clips of judges. What do you call them? Courts. Right, watching the judge house courts. Cases. And an interesting one came up. Right? Oh, it was divorce court. Let me get that out there, right? Divorce court. In the proceedings of distributing the case details, why did the husband, falling soon to be ex-husband, brings in one of his side pieces as a witness to detail accuracy of the marriage, whether good or bad, right? But nonetheless, and what the judge said was absolutely fundamental to the truth, right? You have a husband, you have a wife, right? And as wonderful as it would be to just stick to the husband and to the wife, right? It happens. You got the extras, got the sides, right? Got the little sneaky leaks, right? When did it become a negotiation to bring to the table somebody that's outside, right? And on one side, you can say, okay, bringing everything to the forefront. The discussion is on the table. So, hey, there was bits and parts of it. So you gotta mention it. But it gets to the point of reason, right? It gets to the point of reason. Does outside interest, outside influences, outside situations, do they truly matter when it comes to the matters of the foundation, right? And we're talking about marriage here, just once again to reiterate, right? How do you bring in the sides? And that's not just the side pieces, right? That's any and everybody, friends, neighbors, family. When did that become proper protocol? Right? When did that become realistic? And here's what I mean. When you're sincere in life, you want the best for anyone you know, right? Blood related or not. But when it comes to certain personal businesses, such as that, right? That we're talking about two people that are going to be bonded together intimately, right? Mama, daddy, brother, auntie, uncle. No, you're not going to be in the bed. So why should you be in the affairs, right? It's not to say that you can't add or support, right? It's not, no. That's what family's for, right? Yet it gets again to a question at hand, realistically, right? How much is too much when it comes to involvement of outside sources when you are simply at a two-story foundation initially, right? Nothing wrong with growth, right? Nothing wrong with expansion. Yet again, realistically, the foundation was two stories. The man's side and the woman's side. All major agreements or disagreements is with the man and with the woman. All major decisions are again with that man and with that woman. Right? Yet, over time, did that stay there? Right? We're talking about the roots here, right? Did the roots of truth stay in place? When genuineness, help, care, and support was there versus, can I say nosiness? Can I say sneakiness? Can I say you need something to do? Right? Here's why I say it. Here's why I say that. We've gotten to a place in time, right, where lies should be evident that they're lies. We've come to a place in time where truth should be truth, right? And I remember one time having a conversation where it wasn't an argument, it wasn't even really a debate, it was a conversation stating the differences between truth and my truth, right? And how if someone says my truth versus truth, it can land you in a sticky situation, right? It can make it look or appear one-sided, right? For me, realizing the differences between truth and my truth, I can easily state that both are not only real, but honest to the point, right? Because again, when you talk about truth, when you talk about real life experience, when you shake away all the titles and all the material possessions and you take away the categories and who got where first and why and who's better and who's not better, you break certain things down. You get level with it, right? And no matter what, if you, not me, but you, yes, you, if you went through something good, bad, crazy, impossible, draining, exciting, unimaginative, then that's what it is, right? That's your truth. See, and that's the reason, right? Not everybody goes through the same things. I say this all the time. Two people can be in the same state, the same city, in the same apartment complex, but that does not mean that the same experiences are experienced in the same way that gives out the same exposure of truth for you, right? Because again, let's look at other things to life, right? If a person hasn't ever experienced being homeless, does that mean that there is no such thing as homelessness? Right? Even though you can see it anywhere you look, right? Does that mean it's not true though? Because it's not your truth. Right? Let's take another one, right? If you don't know what it's like to work and still barely have enough to spend to get what you need, scratch the what you want, right? You just barely have enough to get what you need. If you haven't experienced that, then that's not your truth. But how are you going to contradict or say it's not right, it's not true, it is a lie, when someone else tells you they've experienced it? Right? It's still truth. It's still their truth. See how that works? It's the double-edged sword to it, right? It is truth in all accuracy. But it's not true, say, to you individually. But it's not taking away the truth. Right? It's not taking it away. So over time, again, with life, how everyone experiences their life, what happened to the focus? Right? What happened to the focus in life? Because again, why is it so hard to understand, maybe comprehend, that somebody might want something, somebody might want to experience something that you don't? Maybe, right? They might not even want to experience it. Hold that thought. But maybe they have to. Right? Maybe it's something they need to learn. They need to figure out. They need to go through in order to stand in accountability. Because that's one of the things that could get sailed through and overlooked, right? Accountability. What's wrong with accountability? Again, it's something I say quite often, right? If you do something, if you say something, why can't you own it? Right? It's okay. It's always okay to take ownership of good things, right? The things that are going to be uplifted. And in today's timing, right, there's a lot of things that could be looked at and uplifted, right? Promoted, right? Held to an esteem of grace and good character and of morals. And is it? Is it? Is it really? Right? And it stems from accountability. Right? Why do people, as individuals as they are, why can't they own the other side? Right? The dark side of the moon. Right? The sneaky stuff. The stuff that you wanna keep hidden. Why? Why? What you doing? Is it something that you shouldn't be doing? Right? Because why you hiding? Why you being sneaky? Why won't you want to own up to it? Right? Because gotta keep saying it. Because it's something that I keep saying happened. Right? And if no one else is going to speak on it, I will. Why not? At this point in time, it's like, you got me. Right? Because I'll keep quiet. Right? Because I not only understand what life is more and more, right? I'm not only understanding what life is about more and more, I'm understanding it more and more, right? And one of the things that I say is everybody's an individual. Everybody has their own life. Everybody has their do's and their don'ts. Everybody has their trials of accomplishments and achievements. Likewise, everybody has those trials of lessons, right? And if it gets to a point where so much can be done, right? So much in life can be done. Again, why are people not holding themselves accountable? See, because this is one of the things where it's crazy, right? And it blows my mind. There is such a thing as mental instability, right? And that type of awareness should be shared and promoted to not only understanding it but helping, right? Helping. So that it might not have to be so harsh, or maybe you can even take it away completely, right? But still, the point of it is to understanding certain things. Because if you don't understand things, if you're not understanding it, then what are you really doing? Right? If you're not understanding what you're doing, then again, what are you doing? And maybe you need help to understand, not to shift direction, but it's there. Certain people do need help understanding a little bit more than others, right? But at the same time, there is a wave of hypocrites that come in, that pop out, claim certain things, such as mental instability, right? In order to cover up and hide or to get off with leniency to what they are or have been doing, right? And it's those ones that needs to get talked about, right? Because see, people think that they're slick. And as well as my little captions, right? You think it's slick, but you're sick. Let it marinate, right? You think you're slick, but you're sick. With all respect and truth, right? Because look, again, you can lie to other people, right? You can put on a mask. You can facade all you want. Keep up the illusions. Keep up the trickery. You keep up the deception. Now let's say that that's there for the outside world, right? But let's not say that that's there for the inside world, meaning you, right? Let's not illusion the self, right? Let's not get to a point where we're believing our own lies, right? I'm speaking from experience, right? I know what that's about. I know all of what that's about, right? Get to that little detail a little bit in a minute, right? Get that to the little detail in a little minute. My point is this. Stop lying, right? Because it gets to a point you have to take accountability. And one of the things I'm going to keep promoting, no matter how much I get bashed for it, right? Because it's got to stop, right? It has to stop. And what I mean that needs to stop is the lies, right? One in particular, hurt people hurt people. Let's stop that lie. Hurt people do not hurt people, okay? Hurt people work on themselves. Hurt people heal, right? Hurt people live life in a way that says, I know what life can offer. And with me, as hard as it was taking accountability for certain things that I didn't want to take accountability before, or for, not before, for, right? Because it means I have to learn. It means I have to grow. It means I have to stop playing victim and say, yeah, I was making adult choices, right? So I got to deal with the adults' consequences, right? Because again, let's go back to the basics. Wasn't that how we were raised, right? When we were younger, if we did something that was wrong, wasn't right, didn't we get consequences? Didn't we have consequences? Didn't we get punished? Didn't we get told, no, don't do that, stop, sit down, hush, listen, you gotta learn, you really don't know nothing. You're acting too fast. Right? Didn't we get told that when we were younger, in our youth? Right? Didn't we go through that? We did something, whether it was good or bad, right? And we had that consequence. We had to deal with the repercussions. So why can't we as adults? See, because wasn't that the thing? Again, when we had that instruction of correction and that discipline in life, we were told, you need to stop. It's a good thing I'm telling you now while you're young, so you could get it out of your mind, so you could get it out of your head. This ain't the way to go. Change your mindset, want more for yourself, and do better. Hey. And again, we had that choice. We made that choice. We listened or we didn't. And again, we got that consequence. Right. And my point to say that was this. When we have instruction, right, when we have that list of do's and don'ts, we can't sit there and cry. I mean, we can, yet at the same time, what is crying gonna do? Right? We get mad, we get upset, we can talk shit. But again, at the end of the day, what is that gonna do? Right? So, bringing back my point, people do things, right? And certain people know exactly what they're doing, why they're doing it, and they're hoping to get away with it as long as possible, right? Because again, if that's not on the table, then when put in a situation of admission to declare the truth, there's a big old cricket sound. Crickets. You don't know, you can't say you wasn't there. Right? So, my point of it, again, is the same thing I've been saying. If you can't take accountability for what you did, don't do it. Right? Just don't do it. But of course, life isn't that way. Right? Life isn't that way right now. Life isn't that way right now, right? And wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be wonderful? If we could be at a state of mind that says, I know what I'm doing. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it. But just in case, I'ma claim it. Cause why doesn't nobody talk about that, right? Why are we not saying that? Why is nobody admitting to that? Admitting to their failures, right? Admitting to their sneakiness, admitting to their betrayals. And it's easy to state, right? Because if you admit something and people are really listening to you, see, you got to put that in there, right? Because hold that thought, I got something for you, right? If you're saying something truthfully, honestly, out loud, claiming what you did and owning it, and people are listening, and it's not in support of or beneficial to them individually or as a neighborhood or as a city or as a state or as a family, right? If it's not helping, supporting, benefiting the situation, but you're owning it and you're saying it, and people are listening, people are comprehending, where does that leave you? Right? Where does that leave you? Because now the truth is out there, right? And not only is the truth out there, the truth got heard. And not only did it get heard, it got listened to. And what else? It had gotten comprehended. And that makes it sticky, right? That makes it sticky. Because if you're not going along, you got to get on, right? If you're not going along with the plan, then you're hurting the plan. So when people say the truth, you should listen to them. Because of the beneficial factors for you. You might not want to hear it. You might not like hearing it. You might not want to open your eyes to it. But there has to be, right, a part of you that is open enough, right, aware enough to your life to keep certain things of consideration on the table. Right? Again, the beneficial factors for you. Because if it's not helping, support, or benefiting, do you need it? I'll say that again. If it's not helping, benefiting, or supporting you, do you really need it? And at certain times, can we go in life and look at the things that are being supported, that are being beneficial, and ask, is it helping? Truthfully, right? Truthfully. What is being supported right now, right at this moment? Is it supporting the benefits of you? Again, another prime example, right? Can it be that sometimes you don't want the truth? And you gotta accept that. Right? Sometimes you just don't want the truth. And you have to get to a point where you can acknowledge your stance. Right? Acknowledge your stance. Vocalize your stance. stand 10 toes down in your stance. What is benefiting? What is benefiting you? Right? Now let's flip it. Let's flip it. Because we got to flip it. Because we got to do the flip flop. Got to switch it up, right? Supporting and benefiting can have a bad side to it, right? Let's just throw it on the table. Let's just throw it on the table for fun, right? Got the good side to supporting and benefiting, and then you got the bad side of supporting and benefiting, right? Because you got those that are support, you got those that are benefits for the wrong cause, for the wrong purpose, for the wrong people, but there's an exchange of support. Yet, there's an exchange of benefit, right? And we all know how it can go, right? It's easy to point out the obvious of where support, what benefits, right? Do I gotta say it? Do I gotta say it? Do I gotta say it? Because it's usually one of the two, but I'll say three, just to keep it cute, right? People will definitely flip-flop support and benefits if there's money involved. Am I right? Or people will flip-flop the benefits of support if they can get in, and you already know, knock it in, knock it in, knock it out, right? So, we got that on the table. We have people that will just slide support, slide certain beneficial factors because of money, or because they can sleep with someone, or they could get elevated into a certain seat of position, right? The benefits are non-negotiable, non-stop, right? The support is non-negotiable, non-stop, right? If we got those three categories: money, sex, position. Yeah, we can have a stance for the truth, right? It doesn't matter because money is involved. But somebody's life can really be turned upside down. Someone can really get hurt. Someone can really go through something that they don't have to, shouldn't have to. Yet again, title or position, money or sex. And things get excused again. Title, money, or sex. So, when you got that, when you deal with that, when you're surrounded by that, what do you do? Where do you stand? What do you say? What do you demonstrate? What do you hold close? And what do you get rid of? Right? Because again, it's a revolving question that I'm going to keep asking until I get an answer. If you can do it, you're bold enough to do it, admit it. Admit it. Say it. Right? Why can't you say it? Why can't you admit it? And let's not, oh, well, I did it because of such and such and such. Oh, well, I had a shitty life, so because of that, I did such and such and such. He did me wrong. She did me wrong. So I had to get revenge. So I did such and such and such. I excused such and such and such. I overlooked such and such and such. No, take that out, right? Why are you coming with the excuses? I mean, if that's what it is, reason wise, go for it. But don't bring excuses, right? And that's one of the excuses that I'm talking about. Hurt people, hurt people. That's an excuse, right? That's one of the most biggest held excuses of this moment. Hurt people, hurt people. You use that as an excuse to do what you want to do. Just right? Because if we get to that point, then a lot of stuff is gonna be taken off the table, right? Because let's just be fair to be real, right? How many hurt people are in the world? And if we times that by the people that they gotten hurt by because they've gotten hurt by people because they was hurt by people because they was hurt by people and they wasn't specifically hurt by people but their mom was, or not their mom but their grandma, or not their grandma but their great 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 auntie, uncle, cousin, right? Excuses. They didn't have a good, so now I gotta make it better. And how do I make it better? Not by really changing it, not by really doing what's right, not by really thinking outside of the box to recuperate. Nah, I'm just gonna keep the old cycle going of excuses. Hurt people, hurt people. I was hurt. I was hurt. Oh my God, I was so hurt. I was done so wrong. So that's why I had to do it to you. No, I really don't feel better, so that's why had to do it a couple of times. And then you know what? I just got a little silly with it. And then the next thing you know, I didn't feel like nothing or no one would ever fill the void. I'm never going to feel the complete sincerity. Oh, I finally could get out of being a victim and just start living my life, right? Because isn't that what it leads to? Again, let's be fair. How many people do you have to hurt? Do you have to backstab? Do you have to sabotage before you finally feel better? Right? How many people? How many people? I mean, because it's, again, how many people in the world? And if everybody took out that stance to say, I was a victim, I'm going to hurt as many people that hurt me so that I can at least have that exact number of revenge to equal out the playing fields, that's the only way I'm going to feel better. That's the only way I'm going to stop crying. That's the only way I'm going to stop being a big baby and grow up. And just live life. Right? Why does it gotta be to the, oh, I gotta get the revenge before I could get happy? Or I could be happy. Or I could be satisfied. Or I could get to a place in life where a sense of accomplishment is there. Right? Because again, how many people in the world, and if everybody that's been hurt or victimized, right, gets out their exact number of revenge, right? Now what? Right? Now what? Now what? You've been hurt, let's go with 10 times. So you go out and hurt 10 people, right? Make them feel the same way that you felt. It wasn't the people that did it to you, right? Because let's not forget to throw that on the table. When people want to do certain things, do they get the person that did it to them? Or do they get other people? Random people. Just because of the way they look, just because they so happen to be in the wrong place at the right time. Right. Because when it gets to that point, if we're really going to be like, okay, I want certain things to be fair, if somebody did something to you, you go back to them. Right? I mean, that's just fair. You did this to me, so I'm gonna do it back to you. Not you did this to me, so I'm gonna do it to some random person 5 years from now. Right? Because, like, what happened? Where did this come from? Right? And then, even that, you do go back to the person that did it to you. And you get that back. Is it over? Is it done? Can you finally let it go? Can it be released? Right? Can we move on? Because that's the question at hand. Right? That's the question at hand that I have. Right? If we out here getting certain points of, okay, payback, 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 I did to you what you did to me, ha ha ha, I got the one up. You did it, didn't you? Now let's let it go. Let's move on. Let's start something new. But that's the point, though, right? That is the point. Because once that happens, can you let it go? Or does it feel so good you gotta keep doing it? Right? Or it feels so good that you gotta keep talking about it, mentioning it. Right? Because is it funny? Is it humorous to hear about the downfalls of other people? What they had to go through? What they had to overcome? Is that really funny? Right? Let's be fair with it, right? Because if it's not you, then yeah, do people even care? It wasn't me, so what, right? But when you sit back and you listen, as a whole, as what is supposed to be called humanity, right? When you sit back and you listen, and you observe, and you hear just how much fun or how entertaining it can be, doesn't it make you sit and wonder, like, what does that say about me? Right? What does that really represent? What is that really showing up? Ooh, hold that thought. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a pause for the cause. So, going back on my rant, right? Going back on my rant. Let it go. Release. Release. Alright, can we finally let certain things go? Right? Because again, I'm asking a question. When is enough going to be enough? Right? When are we, as adults, going to stand up and start being adults? Because it is a lot harder to do than to say sometimes, right? Stand up and be an adult. Stand up and hold accountability. Stand up for what you know is right. And not only say it, but do it. And not only do it, but do it consistently. Right? And in a way that doesn't make you feel or look hypocritical. You gotta do it in a way that shows and represents truth. Saying that, right? Little fun fact. Can you read something that says in detail that it is harmful to consumption and still consume it? Let me say that again. Can you read something that describes in detail that it's harmful to consumption, eating, yet you still consume it? Right? Because again, I'm asking the question, do we have certain times where truth is laid right out in front of us? You can see it, right? We can maybe even hear it. But do we act according to it, right? And do we take those times of measure to say, is it going to support or be beneficial? Therefore, the consumption of it, whether it's eating, drinking, listening, observing, the consumption of it is going to be just that, supportive and beneficial to you, to your body, to your mind, to your spirit, to your thoughts, to your awareness. Just certain questions, right? Certain questions you gotta ask. Because again, in life, with life, certain times the truth is laid right out in front of you. But are the antennas tuning in to the attention that needs to be directed in deciphering the truth for you? Right? And now, saying that, let me slide on over to tap into another little location of support, right? Shout out to the supporters. All right, shout out to the genuine supporters, right? That not only see one's hard work, but appreciates the value of time and energy that it took in order to get that accomplished. All right, because in life, again, is anything or everything easy? Right? So when an individual sets goals, sets plans, has a decree to life, a foundation of life, the genuine supporters, right, are always appreciated, are always welcomed, and should always be noticed, right? Because do we always have the genuine supporters? Right? Just like, do we always have the genuine content creators? Right? Do we always have the genuine spokesperson? Right? Do we always have the genuine leader, manager, CEO? Right? Do we always have that? Not only from those people, but to those people, right? Because like they say, there's no I in team, right? And when you talk about teamwork and you talk about building and foundating organizations and groups and networks, it's not just one person. It's not just two people, right? There's a whole group. And each individual one should be noticed and appreciated for their own unique individual input, right? Whether or not they're bringing the same thing to the table, they have their own individual mind, sight, and goals of direction. And that should be cherished and appreciated, right? And of course, certain disagreements, right? Certain changes of opinions. Yet again, the genuine support, right? The genuine appreciation to accomplishment. Shout out to y'all, right? Because no matter what, right, as my slogan says, let it marinate to find that resignation for that digestation, right? And why do I say that? Let it marinate for that resignation, for that digestation. Because when you allow certain things to marinate, it starts to sink in, right? You start to understand. And it's either one of the two. You either resonate or you don't. Don't force it if it don't fit, right? And that leads to that digestation. Because once you let that marination go through, because the resonation was there, then that digestation, right, that swallow, that chew, goes through the system, gets evenly distributed in the needed and necessary areas to accumulate the cooperation, right? So certain things that I say, I know I'm speaking freely, mostly through experience, mostly through observation, mostly through thoughts or questions, right? What makes certain things tick? What makes certain things spin? What allows certain pressures of presence without deflating, releasing, and compressing? Right. And again, at certain times, if no one else is going to say it, I always say, why not me? Hey, why not me? I'll be bold to ask questions that some might not know to ask. Right? So let me ask. Because anybody can ask a question, right? It's up to you to find that answer, to find that solution. Right? And when we go through life, things happen. Right? And that care and that support and that genuine, I want to make sure you're doing all right. I want to make sure you're okay. I want to make sure that something is being accomplished, right? Because everybody can wish someone well, right? We can say words, but do they have meaning or intention behind them, right? What is the intention of your words? Something to always pay attention to, right? The meaning and intention of words that are said or expressed. while having conversations, while communicating, or while simply just stating your opinion, your experience. Certain things will land, certain things will be gravitated towards, right? And why? Why do certain things get picked up and gravitated toward versus other things will just outrightly get disregarded? Usually, right? Usually there is some type of what? Resonance, right? It's either you know somebody, you heard about somebody, or you was that somebody that also went through or experienced that very same thing. So the resonance is there, right? The understanding is there. And again, when we go through things in life, right? Do people always say, "Ha, you gotta love this one, right? You gotta love this one, y'all. You gotta love this one." Do people always say the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help you, right? When people go through things in life, do they always say the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help them. Example, right? You hear about two brothers falling out. You hear about the fights, the arguments, the disagreements, right? You hear about how certain things were done or said, and if you, as a listener, ask the question, well, that's not right. That doesn't sound fair. That sounds a little bit harsh. What did you do? Right? That lingers in air, does it not? Because again, accountability, right? Do we like to own and take accountability for the things that we do or say all the time? Whether or not it's beneficial to the other person, right? Do we always state the truth and the whole truth, right? Do you get the full details of the reasoning, right? Do you get the years of the good times, the accomplishments, right? The actual sharing? Or do you just hear about the fights, the arguments, and then the initial traumatic split of initial traumatic incidents that led to the full separation, right? Because again, if we say the truth and nothing but the truth, even when it doesn't make us look right, it should be spoken about, right? When we're giving example to situation, when we're giving out help, tips, or supportive, I know exactly what you're going through. How? Let me tell you. Because I had to go through such and such and such and such details, right? To the point where not everything is exposed, right? You don't want to give your whole life. Yet there has to be truth of value, right? You can't just hear about how the one brother did all of these traumatic, unforgiving things, where one brother is just always so nice and so forgiving and, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it, and keeps going back, still loves the brother, and keeps getting set up, betrayed. Right? Because on one side, be true, be fair. If that really happened, then hey, that's what really happened. Ain't nothing else to give to detail, right? Because you gave the detail. But is that always how it goes? Is that always what is the full story? Alright, what if they both was doing sneaky things behind the scenes, let's say? Right? Just as much as you set up, the other one did. Just as much as you lied, he lied. Right? So it gets to the point where if both was doing something, payback or revenge or being sneaky, whatever you want to call it, right? Doing things unfair. If both parties were doing it, then how do you get accredited at a certain stature? Why do you feel you need to put yourself at a certain stature? Right? Because everyone wants to be the victim. Right? Everyone wants to be the one that was hurt. Everyone wants to be the one that was done wrong the most. And supposedly, right? Supposedly, they're the one that turned the other cheek, so to speak, right? They're the one that just let it go. Right? They're the one that said, "Oh, it's okay. I'm gonna take it for the team." Because again, domino effect, right? If it is so one-sided, as one could explain, then that domino effect should only hit that one side, should it not? If you was the one that innocently didn't do nothing, didn't bring harm, right? Because nobody's innocent in that sense of perfect, right? Nobody's innocent in a sense of perfection, right? Everyone has flaws. Everyone goes through points of time that they don't know something, right? That they didn't learn something, that they didn't understand something, right? So perfection is gonna get taken off the table, right? We all do things. The point of it is when you knowingly do something, yet you play it off as though it was one-sided. That's the stance I'm talking about, right? How easy it is to claim one side, right? Because again, no one's perfect, but everyone wants that title, right? I'm perfect. I got the perfect car, I got the perfect amount of money, I got the perfect partner, the perfect business, I got the perfect goals, I got everything in this perfect, right? Life is perfect because I'm showing you certain things. Because I'm telling you certain things. Right? Everyone deserves privacy. Everyone deserves privacy. Right? Everyone has a personal life. Even when you're in a partnership, a relationship, you still have a personal life. Right? So when it comes to, say, exposure of self, How much of it yourself do you share? Right? Keeping in mind that everyone is entitled to their personal space, their personal life, their personal, this information is only for me, no one else. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long I've known you. I don't care that we've never had a fight, we never argued, we never went through any lines of deceit, betrayal. It doesn't matter. I still have my own personal life. I still have my own personal space. Right? Another thing that blows my mind. At one time, I want to say, in all the years that I've been here, thus far, right? There was a time when that was appreciated. Or that was valued. Right? Where people have their own personal life. And they had their own personal relationship with individuals. Right? Because let me speak on that real quick. Right? Let me speak on that real quick. Shame on you. Right? Allow it to fit if it does. If it doesn't, it cover your ears. But shame on you. If you feel that is not to be appreciated or valued anymore, shame on you. Because it gets tricky, right? On one side, you have those that say, I want you to open up. I want you to want me to know things about you. Get to know you. Get to learn you. Right? There was no need to push. There was no need to force. It was a natural, gradual accessibility. Right? The more you got to know a person, the more you understood your compatibility, right? The more you appreciated the relationship, the bond that you two can have. The openness to the personal life was there. Right? You shared things, you shared stories, you shared the history. Right. But somehow, somewhere that got took it to a stream of, if you're not gonna tell me, I'm gonna find out. By any means necessary. Right? By any means necessary. If there's something about you that I want to know, I ask you, you don't tell me, right? Let's go with that. Let's go with that. You actually ask the person the information you want to know. They tell you. You know what? I don't feel like I want to tell you that now or at all. What happened to the respect of that? Why did the increase, and y'all gonna love this one, right? When did the increase of emotions get involved? Right? Because again, let's flip it. Could you have something that you may not want to share? Just straight up. Could you have something that you might not want to share? And guess what? It's not foul. It's not wrong. It's not illegal. It's not hurting or harming anyone. But I just don't want you to know. Can I have that? Right? Can I have that? Can I have my own personal space of information? Right. Where is the need? Where is the want? Where is the excitement over forcing information? Forcing someone's hand, right? And then let's really break it down, right? Because it's crucial. Certain things are just personal no matter what you say, right? Like, why does someone need to know how much money I have? Just real, just real, just real, right? Why do you need to know how much money I have? Why do you need to know how much savings I have, right? Why would you need to know if I did something with someone, whether it's sexual or otherwise? Why do you need to know that? Hey, because it's not you. Let's just throw it out there. It's not you. I didn't do it with you. Maybe not even planning to do it with you. But why would you need to know if I did or didn't do that with someone else? Nosiness, right? Where does that come from? Because again, flip it, right? Flip it. How much of yourself are you willing to share? Outright, bold, and truthful information, personal information about self, when there's no support of benefit to detail that information, right? What does it matter if you are getting to know someone, right? Mutual grounds, mutual base. There's no real investment yet, right? You're just starting out the groundwork. Why do I gotta tell you every little detail of my life? Give it time, right? That's the whole thing. People are in such a rush. And then the information that they want to know, right? The information that they want to know. When it's personal, again, are you going to be benefiting from it? Prime example, right? Again, why would you need to know how much money someone has? Unless you are about to group up, team up, and start a business. Right? That's a perfect example of why you would need to know how much money someone has. That way you could get to the understanding, okay, you could put 5 in, you could put 10 in. You are at a place where you could put a whole 50 in, right? But me, I only have so much to where I could for sure only put 15. But if you could do the 50, right? Now we're working. Now we're seeing what we got to work with. Now we can work accurately. But again, if there's no talk of a business being established, then why do you need to know how much money I have? Right? It begins to question the intention. Right? It begins to question why is there an involvement happening? Right? Because you're just getting to know someone, and the first questions you ask them is how much money they got. Doesn't that mean to the point of you trying to take my money? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Right? And again, flipping it. Just getting to know someone. Right? There's no real true investment yet. There's no establishment of a relationship. But you, right, or me, right, wants to know how many people you slept with, how freaky you can get, right? And it gets to a point, everybody's young, right? Everybody tries new things, right? Everybody goes about life in a different way. But how I see it is, we haven't even established what we are yet. And you're trying to figure out how many I've already had. But you don't even know if you can get to that point yet, right? Like, let's be real. Let's be real with it, right? No matter if you are a man or a woman, you know, within reason, right? If you're going to go to that level with another person, right? You could just like, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing what that could be like, right? I wouldn't mind testing the waters. But if that hasn't been established, right, there's no talk of it at all. Except the question is how many you had, what kind of positions you do. Let me see this booty shot. Can you send me some pictures? Let's link up on the video chat because I want to see you while we talk because you never know I might want to do some stuff. Really? I'm just saying, right? Respecting the personal space. What if that person doesn't want to go there with you? I'm just saying, right? Respect the personal space. If it's out there, if it's open, if it's talked about, if it's being discussed, then hey, there's no shift to point fingers of why you being nosy. You already know. It's already there. We're supposed to be adults, right? If you honestly, sincerely say, hey, look, I'm not looking for no friends. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm just ready to grab and smash. Right? And if that person's like, oh, okay, well, hey, I wouldn't mind a little smash, then you got something. Right, then you go into, okay, well, how many you got? Do you got somebody now? Do you like to do this? Do you want to do that? Woo, 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 woo. You get into detail, right? Because you already established that's what it is. Right? You already know where you're going to go with it. You initiated the contact with that. Right? But if you start the contact with, hey, how you doing? Good morning. And that's all you say. Every time you see the person, talk to the person. Then on that random time, you talk a little bit more than that. And it jumps off the bat to, hey, you ready for a little smash? It's like, what happened? What? I only said hi and good morning to you. Where did we get to the smashing part? I don't know you. Right? Not sorry. Sorry, but I don't know you. Again, respecting people's personal space. Respecting people's personal lives. Right? And how that gets mixed matched with the thoughts of, if you're not going to tell me something, I want to know it. I'm going to find it, figure it out, ask the next person, and let me get on that one, right? Let me get on that one real quick, too. Just real quick, just really quick. Stop that. Like, for real, stop that. Do not, let me rephrase, because people going to do what they want to do, right? Yet, still, If you want to know a person, you really want to get to know a person, talk to that person. Straight, no chaser. Talk to that person because it's going to tell you all you need to know, right? If you're trying to figure out something about that person and you actually ask them the questions, right? You actually ask because you're trying to get to know that person. If they tell you, could be right, could be wrong, but they told you, right? Just just keep it real. They personally told you. Now, if it comes later, what they told you wasn't accurate, all the way or at all, or they just so happen to leave out some details, right? Or they overtold details that wasn't all the way accurate, right? Within time, within reason, you're gonna find that out, right? And yeah, that's a sticky situation in itself, right? Because when you have the obvious in your face, which is people can be liars, people can be deceptive, people can be cruel, you have to figure out the point of stance, right? You have to know yourself good enough, well enough, and strong enough so that when you hold certain conversations, right, you're gonna know how far to go or to not go, right? And people can talk and say, yet it won't matter. Why? Because you are doing what is right and beneficial for you, right? Because I don't want to say it that way, but it's been there for so long, right? It's kind of like, can't we let it go? The sneakiness, right? The lying, the misdirection, the deception. Can we let it go? Can we finally release it, right? Can we finally get to a place where everyone says their truth? Like it or not, take it or leave it. It is what it is. That way, right, we can adjust accordingly. But we cannot get to that point of adjusting accordingly until everyone stands in their truth, which is the truth, right? And the more people stand in their truth, the need for lies, misdirections is not going to be there. Why? Because we can see plainly what it is. Because again, can we already see what it is? Like, let's not lie, right? We see what it is. We know what it is. Sometimes we don't want to trust it. We don't want to believe it. We don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to know it. We don't want to accept it. But when we got the liars, we know who the liars are, right? When we walk around, we know who the people are that are deceivers, right? And then sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't. And why? Because we got those that support the lies. We got those that support the deception. We got those that will support the sneakiness, right? Because again, what happened to sincerity? All right, people are too willing to be the abusers but claim victim, right? Because again, certain things you gotta accept for what it is. With life, be shaping and forming, such as it is, if we didn't have certain things that are being allowed. And again, we all know what it is, right? We all know what it is. We know that there's those that are willing to support the lies. The thing is, we gotta call it out, right? We gotta stand up and say, yeah, it might hurt, but we gotta tell the truth. That person's lying. That person's deceiving. The only reason why that person knows something is because he got it from someone else. The only reason why this person is allowed to be overlooked and get away with things is because they got people in their pocket, hint, hint, right, that is willing to overlook and lie and deceive for them as long as they can keep that pocket. We know this. We see this all the time. But we don't want to stand up for it. And why? Why? Because most of the times we know these people, right? Most of the times these are the same people that we could actually call family, friends, lovers, right? Neighbors, business partners, whatever. Schoolmates, right? We know who they are. Which is why some avoided, right? Some wasn't in the group, right? Why some was left out. Again, why? Because there's a bigger influx of those that are willing to participate in the lies because they get the benefits of having more money or a title, right? Or the fact of the ability that they get to say that they slept with someone. And that's the biggest, like, really, we're doing some of the most hideous and deceiving things all because of the person you slept with. And that's another thing too, right? People are covering up for some of the most crooked people. But it's okay, right? Because why? They got good sex. They popped it good. They got it hot. They got it wet. What? But you allowing this person to corrupt generations. You're allowing this person to be promoted at the forefront as something that should be taken and considered as morally sound. But they're the ones behind the scenes doing the most wicked and corrupt plots, plans. And again, it continues to get promoted. It continues to get pushed up in hopes of, here we go again, right? Here goes the loop of the cycle. They're going to keep it promoted because they either soon or have gotten money, right? Or even though you got those too, right? They waiting in line for the money. They did all the work. They kept up the lie. They kept the lie alive, right? And now they waiting for that paycheck. They waiting for that bag. Hoping, right? Likewise, they hoping that they slide from getting locked up, right? Just like they're hoping that they slid and they didn't catch something because they just out here doing the most in between everybody's legs, right? Don't matter. Don't matter if you married. Don't matter if you been with somebody for a long time. That don't matter. If they look good, they go try. If I could try, is definitely going to be a goal for at least attempt it, right? Because again, if someone could get a title, if someone can sleep with someone that they wanted to, or if they could get some money out of the deal, keep the lie alive, right? Keep the lie alive. And that's the thing, right? Why? Why do we gotta keep the lie alive? I'll tell you why. I already said it. Because if we do stand up and point out, no, they wrong, they foul, they lying, they deceiving, it's some of the same people, right? That you could be really close to. Some even blood related to again, right? Or married to. And it's like, dang, where do you go? Right? You don't want to snitch out the family. Right? Dang, what do? You don't want to snitch out your boy. Right. So again, keep the lie alive. You keep it going. And where's the end of it? Where's the end game? That's my point. Where is the end game? You're doing all of this sneakiness, doing all this foul, corruption. Just inexcusable. Right? And for the most part, you have the supporters that are keeping you out of trouble, right? Keeping you poster board as though you don't do nothing. You're innocent, right? And it's like, nah, come on now, stop it. There's not that many innocent people for all of this to be going down. You got participants, right? Because think about it, right? If you have a store and it's stocked, every shelf, every aisle is stocked with food, endless supply of food, right? But no one goes into the store for weeks, months, years on end. No participation, no consumption, no exchanging goods for services. What's going to happen to that store? Right? What's going to happen to that store? Exactly. Without no participation, that store is going to close. That store is going to be just a rock, right? It's not going to be producing no current or flow. So, likewise with people, right? Likewise with us. Likewise with our life or situation. If there's no participation, right, then after a while, certain things are going to die out, right? But the more you participate, the more you include, the more, again, you keep that lie alive, then yeah, it's going to be an ever-going flow, right? And isn't it sad that at this point in time, people can still and protest, this wasn't right, my ancestors went through this, my ancestors went through that, we're supposed to be doing better, we can't have because they're stopping us. Wait, hold up, hold up, hold up, wait a minute. Who's stopping who? Who's stopping who? Participation. Right? The only way certain things are going to continue and flow is participation. So if you know your ancestors, your grandparents, your siblings, your cousins went through stuff, Why are you participating in keeping the lie alive? Don't you want better? Don't you want more? Don't you find it hard to resist the urge to try something different? Because if you want something different, are you going to get it with repeating the same thing? Right? You come from a broken family. You come from a broken home. You only had your mom, your dad wasn't there. Yeah, you go in life, creating babies, but you're not there as the dad. Right? You go through life having babies, yet you're not really teaching or protecting them as the mother. You're out gone, partying, still living life, carefree as if you don't have no concerns, no need to ground yourself, right? And it gets pointed that certain people stopped, certain people excluded or forced out, which isn't off, right? Which isn't a lie. Yeah, you're the new generation. Yeah, you're the generation that came after. And what are you doing? Feeding into the same thing. Feeding into the same thing. You know certain things are wrong, but you keep doing it. Again, for what? What's the purpose? What's the excuse besides, oh, hurt people hurt people? I said this on a live about 3, maybe 4 years ago, right? When it comes to growth, right? When it comes to growth, your growth and truly honing in on that growth brings out a different change, a different outlook, a different way of being, right? And how can we say that's what we want? Yeah, we're not doing it. Again, playing the victim, hurt people, hurt people. But if we really did that, right? If we really did that, if all people that is currently present now had that payback and that revenge, right? Is it gonna stop? Can we finally let it go? No. Why? Because the need to bring in the past, grandparents, ancestors, etc., right? So let's say we take that on and we get the lick back for our ancestors. Is it done? Is it finally done? Can we finally move on? Can we finally start something new? Right? And I remember saying about 3, 4 years ago, right? People talk that talk, right? But if that was really pushed out truthfully, respectfully, distributed, evening out the playing fields, right? Evening out the playing fields. You wouldn't like it. You would not like it, right? Why? Because it can go back so far. And instead of, as we are now, say, keeping the cycle going, if we did that, all we're going to do and become is a repetitive cycle of payback. which can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? Because again, this is just me. This is just me, right? I like to listen to a lot of documentaries, crimes, unsolved mysteries, right? And there is so much that one individual had went through on one video. Back in the 60s, just one person back in the 60s went through so much trauma, hurt, pain, torture. No reason, right? Outside of the fact that they did not like how that person looked. So they thought in their head, I don't like the way this person looks. So I'm going to make them look the way I want to make them look. And it was through means of beating and torturing. How is that right? How is that fair? How do you, right, on a scale of weighing out to even out the playing fields for just that one person? Just that one person. And we're talking about groups of people. We're talking about generations of people. How do you equal out the playing fields? You can't. You cannot. You cannot. That is impossible. Right? That's impossible. To even out the playing fields for hundreds of babies that got mutilated. Their short life, right? They just began to breathe in air, to know what that means to breathe in air, and now they're gone. Through a series of truly unnecessary and disgusting means. Babies, not children, babies. How do you equal out, level out those playing fields? Right? I'm not talking about my family of generations of people that I know who went through pain and torture. I'm not even talking about your family who could have went through pain and torture. I'm speaking about someone random, right? Someone random. Now imagine if you considered the impact of people you really know, right? So that's why I get to the point of, can we release it now? Finally, can we release it, right? How much pain, how much torture do we have to go through, right? As a whole, as a whole, as a whole. Individually, we go through our own, but as a whole, we're going through pain. We're going through torture. We're going through mishaps. We're going through misdirection. We're going through lies. We're going through deceit. And we're trying to uncover, unveil, unlift, unprogram, unconfuse, disassemble, just to regroup and finally firmly plant, right? We're trying to get there on an individual level. So my question again is, can we finally let it go? Can we finally release it? Can we finally take accountability for the things that we know we did, right? Take it and take it because it is what it is. You know what you did. You know what you didn't do. You know what you said. You know what you didn't say. You know if you was right at that time. You know that you was wrong at that time. You know you could have done better. You know you should have spoke up. You know you should have stopped. Right? We know these things. But can we do these things? Can we not just say them so we could get promoted on a stage in a crowd of group of people so that we could get the cry, cheers from the crowd? Can we do the right thing for the right purpose, which is us? Not for the cheers, not for the prize, not for the statue, not for the title, not for the money, not for the person, not for the material gains, not to say that you did it, just because you are tired, right? You're fed up. You see what it is. You know what it is. Can we do what is needed to be done to finally release it and let it go, right? Because it has to start somewhere, right? It has to start. That's the thing. It has to start. And why not start now? Why not start now? Why not start now? Let it go. Release it. Own it. Stop hiding. Stop playing victim. Stop sabotaging. And allow the flow of life to finally breathe into you. To finally allow you to be lifted up and your head held, right? So that your shoulders can be secure. So that your words won't tremble. So that your actions really do have the same meaning and intentions that you say, because you're saying what you do and you're doing what you say. And it's because that's who you are. That's who you are learning to be. That's who you're growing to be. That's who your accomplishments are derived from. The marination and the resonation. Because that digestion of you has fully seeped through and allowed that consumption to be truly appreciated in its essence, right? And then we can go about life and live a life, right? Because you're going to have those people still there, right? They're going to stop. Like I said, we got a lot of supporters that wants to keep the lie alive, right? We got a lot of people that wants to continue the way things are. So you're going to get a lot of pushback. I know. Trust you me. I know. Right? Like I said, they been wanting me to shut up. They been wanting me to hush. And at certain times, I do it. Nah, don't say nothing. It's not the right time. Nah, just hold up. Hold up. They not ready for it. Right? Just don't say nothing because they're not going to take it the right way. So I'll be cool. Like I said, I'll be in my corner in my little cut, minding my business. Right? Not bothering no one. Right? Simply trying to live. Simply trying to breathe. And at certain times, I gotta speak. Right? Cause like what's really going on? Right? There's so much that has been happening. Are we truly appreciating it? Right? Are we truly appreciating what we're witnessing right now? Because if we know certain things, we could do certain things. If we didn't know certain things, then we can allow the pressure, right, to say, okay, you know what, this is not going to be beneficial. So I can move away. Or this is harmful. It might not be affecting me directly, yet I know that it can affect. So let me say, let me announce what I can when I can, so that it can be corrected, right? So that we can finally say, I'm not just saying it, I really am it. Right? Because isn't it sad when you go through life and you see, right, certain smiley faces, right? You see the with the children and their dogs and they're running around, and you think, right, that everything's good, everything is calm, everything's at peace. There's no cause to suspect any problems. Yet again, right? No disrespect to the situation, but when something is going wrong, do we say it? Right? Do we announce it? Or do we cover it up? Right? Do we hide it? Because we might be embarrassed. Because we might feel shame. Because we might think that so much has already been done, so much has already happened. Why should I look to the positive side? Right? And do we realize how many people, right, men and women, go through that thing where they suffer in silence, when they don't say something, when they don't ask for help or support? Why? Because most times, right, when we're honest with ourselves, when we know that we're going through certain things, we can see it in other people, right? We can see that, hey, I'm going through some stuff, so are my neighbors. Hey, I'm not necessarily where I thought I was gonna be. I can also see that in my coworkers. I can also see that in my family, right? And like I was saying, where is the real, where is the genuine support? Not the I'm trying to be nosy to get in your business. The actual support, right? They say that the village raises the kid, right? It, it takes a community of adults to uphold righteousness, morals, good conduct, accountability, responsibility, equality, right? It takes a community of adults. Right? They say it takes a village to raise a child. Where are the villages at? Right? Where is the help for the children? Because they keep being made, they keep being created, they keep, they are continuing to be born. And again, in the same cycles, right? And what is being done to stop it? What is being done to correct it? Okay? Or are we not correcting it? We're simply saying, I can acknowledge what was done. I can accept what needs to be done for me. Yet again, I'm going to bring on the excuse of hurt people, so I am not going to be able to change the trajectory. Right? And again, before I get off, right? Because once I saw that stuff, I'm gonna say that for another video. Right? We all can learn how to appreciate ourselves a whole lot more, right? And with appreciating ourselves a whole lot more, we're going to move, we're going to think, and we're going to do better for ourselves. Yeah, it's going to be hard, right? Especially if you've been through more downs than ups in your experiences, right? When you've been through but I almost was there. I thought I had the family. I thought I had the friends. I thought I found the right partner. But again, in life, there was more downs than ups. So it's going to become a challenge, right? You're going to say it. Should I have better? Do I need to go through this? Should I have to go through this? Should I have to take on this kind of baggage or pressure? And at certain times, again, in life, we got lessons that we have to learn. We have to grow. And the only way we could go is we got to go through things. We got to experience things. Right? And at the same time, with that, which is stemming from a place of loving ourselves more. Right? When we love ourselves more, full and whole, life is going to be life. We're going to still see things. We're still going to experience things. We're still going to have the challenges. But certain long term or certain repetitive situations or people or circumstance won't have to be there. Because we learned, we grew, we elevated, and we said no. No more. I'm going to change it. I know what needs to be changed. And guess what? I know that I deserve it. Because that's one of the biggest issues that I even had. Right? One of my biggest issues that I have had in all of my life adventures is a sense of overcaring. A sense of hey, I know what it's like to sit there, to see people, to know what could be helpful, what could be beneficial, and do that. Help them, support them, guide them into that direction of elevation. right? And at the same time, it took me a minute. It took me a long minute for me to say, you know what? What about me? Right? What about me? Because, yeah, certain things I've been through, right? Certain things I know I shouldn't have had to go through, right? I've been through and gone in and experienced, and still, some of the most, I can't even believe that I survived. Can't even believe I'm still here, but I am, right? And as hard as that was to fully digest, it told me something, right? It told me something. The only way you are truly going to be full, whole, and complete in value is if you give it to yourself first, last, and always, right? Why I say when a person has true self-love, true understanding of meaning and definition, of essence of it, of the energy. Shout out to the energy, right? We're gonna go through life and we're gonna experience love. We're gonna go through life and appreciate what we experience, right? We're gonna be able to partner up, have relationships, and when it's time to go, when it's time to separate, when it's time to leave, that's not going to detach the essence of you, right? Because true love, real love, that comes from within, right? That comes from within. And if you don't love yourself, it's going to reflect, right? It's going to show by the people and how they treat you, right? So yeah, true love, real love, is self-love. Because if you don't love self, who will? Right? Who really love you? Not what you can do, not what you can provide, not how good your sex is, not how much money you got, but value you. Love you. Nobody's gonna do that more, or should do that more than you. Because again, look at it, right? Think about this for a second. To allow this to marinate, right? Speaking of categories, right? A mother's love. That is, in its full essence, what I just said. A mother's love. That is one of the most purest loves you can and will ever find. A mother's love. Right? Just like a father's love. That is going to be one of the strongest loves you've ever encountered. Right? A mother's love is pure love. A father's love is strong love. And that child that the mother and the dad created, right? That's real love. Right? Because that baby that child, soon to be adult, had been created, manifested through two individuals that both had a foundation of love within them, right? Mixed and marinated together to birth forth a child. Real love. That's real love right there. That right there, you cannot duplicate, emulate, or copy. Real love. True love. Right? There's different forms of love. Like I said, there's a mother's love, there's a father's love. Then you have your love. Right? Then you have love for your friends. Right? You have love for your neighbors. And how do you get that? Extensions from you. Right? Because can you love another person as you love your mother? Right? Hear me out. Can you love another person as you love your father? Right? Again, let it marinate. And likewise, can you love yourself? No, can you love another person? My fault. More than you love yourself. Right? So with that, can it be released? Can it finally be let go? Can we finally get to a point of stating it's done? There's no more need to go back to the past. There's only the need to be here now in the present. And in the present, there's some work that needs to be done. Right? In the present, I gotta get my act right. In the present, I can't play victim. I have to put on those big boy pants, big girl pants, right? Take accountability, put in action, lead and demonstrate, right? Because again, if we don't, what are we gonna get outside of what we have, which is people standing up, speaking, all the while lying, right? You got people supporting, yet you have so many homeless people, right? You got the groups that will demonstrate something needs to be done as a whole for humanity. Yet when we look at humanity, the same things are still occurring, and you have to ask the question, what can I do? How much can I do? What type of input will be beneficial? Right? And it will stab, right? It will shock. It will cause a influx of emotions. Because we gotta state the truth of the facts, right? Can everybody be saved? Can everybody change? Will everybody change? Not can everybody change, will everybody change, right? There's a difference. Possibilities are always going to be there. The situation is it going to get taken? Right? Are you going to stand up, get up, crawl if you need to, right? Ride the bike, take the train, open up the business. Tell that person finally, no more. I'm done. It's enough, right? So until that happens, what do you get? What do you got? What are you benefiting from? And again, take off all the essentials, right? Take off all the titles, take away all the materials, take away all the lies, the deceptions, the sneakiness, and what do you got? What's left? What's real? What's raw? What's honest? What's truth? With ourselves. And the more we resonate with ourselves, we're going to be able to resonate with what we can and need to do with ourselves. And when we're at that level of honesty, we're going to admit, okay, I might want it. I might feel like I need it. I might feel like I deserve it. But it's really not for me. This is really not my said I was going to be. This is not really who I said I was. Right? So, as we move in life, as we inhale and exhale, as we think about the next moment of digestion, before we start clicking and linking and sending and trying to be sneaky and still trying to get over and still thinking that certain things are funny and still allowing till then, we're going to be right where we are. And some might want it, some might like it, some might prefer it. But if you are out there and you're saying, nah, even with everything, I still don't feel right, this doesn't still sound right, I gotta do something to make sure that it does. And at certain times, it's going to be, right, at any means necessary. Right? Because do you have to fight? Yes. Yes, you do. You not only have to fight to survive, you have to fight even harder to live. Why? Because surviving is being put in that little box that they told us to be in. That's surviving. Dealing with the bits and pieces, the crumbs, and the it is what it is. I can't, I haven't, therefore it won't be. Right? The little boxes. But once we think outside of that and say, I know I'm worth more. And not only am I worth more, I'm going to do anything to get it. Does it mean hurt? No. But it means I'm not going to allow you to stop me or to get in my way or to tell me no, I can't. Right? Because again, at the end of the day, if life is the way that it has been because people are allowing the illusions of inclusions and the lies and deceptions, right? Imagine how powerful, imagine how impactful it will be when you stand in that correction of accountability and adulthood, right? Because adults don't play victim. Adults know what it is, what needs to be done. They do it, and they move on, right? You don't get a trophy, right? You don't get a trophy for raising your children. That's what you're supposed to do. You brought them here, right? You don't get that trophy for, oh, I've been in a fake perfect marriage because I kept the lies Nobody saw what I was doing behind the scenes. So the illusion of perfection is still there. Yay! No, that has to come on. That has to be discarded. That has to be no more. So that the truth can come out. So that the truth can be known. Right? Because again, you have certain people, right, that sit in silence, going through things. Right there at the end, needing help, needing the support, and they're not getting it. And mostly because there's a stigma of certain things, such as you're a man, deal with it, get over it. You're supposed to know what a hard life is like, right? Likewise for a woman. Oh, well, you know, women don't ever have it easy. We have to go through things. We just have to take it. We just have to deal with it. No, we don't. No. If you don't like it, you don't want it, get away from it. If it's not for you, why are you continuing it? And it's okay. Make them mad. It's okay. Let them hate. It's okay. Let them be confused and wondering why you said, I'm done. I'm good. Enough is enough. No matter what it is. Keep owning it. Keep owning your truth. Keep owning that essence of energy of you. Until the next time, may you allow the marination for the resignation so that digestion can be fully consumed to appreciating and accepting you in truth and wholeness. Till then, peace.